What did I just watch? So stay with me. So it's time now to review another film that you guys have recommended to me. Incidentally, become a Subscribe Star supporter below and message me directly with your film review requests. So this one is the 1970 dystopian apocalyptic movie No Blade of Grass. Thank you to the supporter who requested this one. It's based on the 1956 novel The Death of Grass by John Christopher. No Blade of Grass was directed by Cornell Wilde and stars Nigel Davenport, Lynn Frederick, Gene Wallace, and Anthony May. The Earth's ecosystems are collapsing due to pollution, and a deadly new viral disease from Asia is spreading globally. It's killing all types of grass, including our crops, wheat, rye, barley, etc. In Asia, it's caused a devastating famine already, which threatens the rest of the world. There's a powerful scene in the beginning of the film where horrific images of starving children on television are juxtaposed with a generous banquet of fine food in a restaurant. An emergency committee of world ecologists maintain that cumulative residues of pollutants and pesticides in both the soil and atmosphere are responsible for the disease, which is carried by a virus. But if affected areas are destroyed by fires, then the virus is easily contained. So, the intention is to control its spread by burning the fields. The plan is to manage the catastrophe through martial law, food rationing, and restrictions on travel. Over 600 million people have died worldwide, and social order has broken down. Cities over 300,000 in population are sealed off by military barricades. In China, nerve gas bombings have taken place to wipe out 300 million of their own people, which the government deemed necessary for survival. The story primarily focuses on the main characters of John and Anne Custance and their daughter Mary and her boyfriend Roger as they navigate their way through the riots of London and escape to the countryside. There's a rumour going around that the big cities of Europe are going to be nerve-gassed like the ones in China. So it becomes a desperate scramble to get out of the large metropolitan areas as soon as possible, trying to survive on their wits against the anarchy, opportunism, and violent mobs. In many ways, the film kind of reminded me a little bit of Children of Men due to the bleakness and perhaps also because of its setting in England. The main characters have to overcome the challenge of surviving the increasing chaos around them and the authoritarianism of law enforcement, as well as a gang of rapey bikers for some reason. As the story progresses, civility collapses quickly. Actually, a little too quickly. Social trust is gone and riots and looting are commonplace. Now, there's plenty of potential in this story, it's just too bad the execution is lacking on almost every front. What's unrealistic is just how fast everything happens. It's almost cartoonish how practically every person they meet becomes an immediate threat. Well-armed bandits seem to roam around every corner of the countryside. It seems these scenes are simply inserted to create additional arbitrary conflict and tension and action. The once peaceful populations of rural communities of England are seemingly transformed overnight into well-organised ambushing militias and scavenging guerrilla armies. The descent of humanity doesn't feel realistic because it just happens too fast. I mean, people still have a little bit of food at this point. It's not like people are immediately starving. The conflict rises too quickly, making the violence and drama feel overly exaggerated and sometimes bordering on farcical. I mean, there's even a radio broadcast that says that most of Europe and the Western world have descended into cannibalism. I mean, keep it together. It's only been a few hours.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
There's even a scene where suddenly out of nowhere, the main character just decides to cheat on his wife with a woman he barely knows. It's just so preposterous that everyone would lose every ounce of their morals and values and who they are in such a short time. I mean, sure, survival makes people do crazy and desperate things, but it really hasn't been that long since their last meal, you know what I mean? I mean, it's been like a day or two, and already the most savage, barbaric, and selfish aspects of human nature have suddenly come to the surface. Anyway, the boyfriend of this lady just shoots her, right? Because he's upset with her for cheating on him. Okay. And then everything at the end just escalates into one of the most bizarre final action scenes I've ever seen on film, where they have to fight off this huge motorcycle gang. And the final line of the narrator is, "This motion picture is not a documentary, but it could be." Yeah, a documentary on how to make a really cringe accidental comedy. The film really fails on every important point, in my opinion. It needed a stronger cast, a better script. It's let down badly by its writing, performances, and uninspired direction. It's a real shame because No Blade of Grass certainly has a decent setup and a strong premise for what really could have been and should have been a compelling post-apocalyptic survival movie. But it's just saddled with too many melodramatic moments, clunky, hammy dialogue, cheesy acting, and unsatisfying character arcs. No Blade of Grass is very much a B movie, which is absolutely fine. There's plenty of great classic B movies. Sadly, this is not one of those it's so bad it's kind of good movies. This one is just bad. It lacks a meaningful and believable human story and character development. I think it's a terrible exploration of human nature. It's also fairly dry and lacking in heart. Hey, what can I say? Not every old movie I review is going to be gold. I'd love your thoughts on this one. If you've seen this movie, please comment below. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.